Good morning, boys and girls, from Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio high on Sassafras Mountain. CDA presents Real Tree Radio. Welcome to a brand new, unused Saturday morning. Good morning, boys and girls, from Three Falls Cabin high in the Georgia mountains. This is O'Neill Outside from the Bojangles studio. Welcome to an unused Saturday morning. We've got an hour of outdoors headed your way. Welcome to the program. 404-872-0750, 800-972-8255. In this hour, we'll have the Hayes Dodge Ram fishing report from Mac Farr. It's my pleasure to invite you to watch O'Neill Outside Television, Fox Sports South, Arizona Sun, Pursuit Channel. This week, a show with Brian Barton, fishing in Alabama behind Wilson Dam. It'll be a very unusual fishing show for you to watch, and I want to encourage you to do that. And then later in the hour, we'll have our Silent Hero Award and the Medal of Honor tribute, all in this hour, of course. Your calls, too. And we left over from the other hour a couple of subjects, and that is we had a little story about nicknames. Call and give me your nickname. Call and give me a nickname that you have bestowed upon someone. And then finally, too, besides the fishing and other subjects, by all means, let's find out about your deer season. Better? Worse? Average, big deer, small deer, does. What was your deer season like? It's still going on. I know Travis is out in Oklahoma right now, and he's archery hunting. But we have a lot of things to do, and we hope that you'll join us on the program for the next hour. This is that you're listening to on the SB Nation, that being in Houston, Dallas, Sacramento, Denver, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Little Rock, Columbus, and 126 SB Sports Broadcast Nation affiliates all over the country, including WSB. Brought to you by Tough Shed, Real Tree, Striplings, Horsetown, got to go to Horsetown, Timbuktu Outdoors, Fire Aid, Cherokee County Toyota, Works Tools, and of course, the White-tailed Institute. Want better deer hunting? Call the White-tailed Institute. All of that when we return in just a moment. 12 after the hour on a Saturday morning, and we've got some outdoors headed your way. Why not start with a nice report from our good, let's see, is he up yet? He's probably getting, oh, there he is. Let's talk to Mac. What do you say, Mac? You got the Ram report? Good. Yeah, no kidding. Mm-hmm. Good. Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. I would imagine so. I guess it's the time of the year now for all the in lakes all over the South, for that matter, anywhere there's some crappie or crappie or white specks or sac-a-lait, whatever people call them, they're probably under these major marina docks by the billions. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Certainly.
line. So
Certainly.
it's not much of a bite. And when I mentioned light line for bass fishing particularly, I think when you get as deep as most of our guys are fishing now, uh, the light line, you lose the ability, you lose the stealth mode because they can't see it well anyway. What you
Hmm.
get is the feel. You can just feel the bite transmits up the line better, and that's where the light line really comes in advantage. But that's going back to the crappie fishing thing, just slow and tedious. Really be paying attention because when you get that little jig down there in 20 feet, your bite's going to be light. They bite light anyway, so you got to really. It's that's true finesse fishing, but the big marinas and even isolated docks are holding lots of fish, and if you want to get you a good crappie dinner, you can do it.
You bet.
So
Great
just
report. I wanted to get on to the subject of the crappie fishing. So, have you got some open dates coming up? What do you think?
we do, and we've got some good fishing's not too far around the corner. If we can ever get these water temperatures to start rising again, which will probably happen in 2 or 3 weeks in mid-February, water
Hmm.
comes back up to 50. Things will really be good. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got lots of open dates, and you can contact us at Captain Max, CAPTMACKS, or 770-271-0851. And also on that same website on there, we keep the fishing report we just did. It's in very great detail there in
Oh,
print.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
We
every Friday you can read the Hayes Ram Fishing Report online.
Okay, good. And you can order the MacFar merchandise, the umbrella rigs, and all that off of O'Neill Outside. Can you not?
I was going to say you can find our website through your site.
Okay.
Houston put us a link on there. Absolutely.
Go to O'Neill Outside down to the bottom of the homepage. There's Mac.
That's a good site to go to anyway. Good stuff on there. If you're not
That's
knowing,
right.
you need
There's
to
a
look at.
few things. Get Fire Aid on there too. Everybody has to
Yeah,
have Fire Aid. All
good
right, my
stuff.
good friend. You have a great day here.
Do the same, O'Neill. Take care, buddy.
You bet. We'll see you soon. There you go. There goes Mac. You had something off. You can watch O'Neill Outside radio program on Facebook by going to Facebook and going to O'Neill Outside. And at 18 after the hour, let's see. I'm not about ready to go. Oh, I'm out at 22. Okay. What, did you have something on Facebook?
Yes, our friend Dawn, who's been listening to the show
Oh,
forever.
gosh, yes.
She's a wonderful person, and she says, speaking of nicknames, just wondering why you call your home Three Falls Cabin.
Oh, why don't you handle that?
Okay, well that's because we have three waterfalls on the property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just that simple. We can't actually see them without a great deal of effort, but we can hear them.
That's right. It's
They're
we
pretty
live.
good sized falls, but
Oh
we
yeah,
just
one of
it's
them's
straight
like
down.
150 feet tall.
It's just we have to go to a neighbor's house, go down their property, and ride along the creek bed so we can see that particular one. But it's always fun to do that.
We have 8 acres, and it's on the side of a mountain, and buildable acres is probably 1 acre,
If that.
maybe. Otherwise it's straight down.
And it's so straight down that when you get just a few feet away from the house, you can't see the house.
Absolutely.
But
It end
remember
up
when
in a-
we decided to walk the creek that day, and we were much younger, we were going to walk the creek, starting over there on the, I guess that would be the western side of the property, and we were going to see how what does it look like down there? Well, we found out.
Yeah.
We got so far down there we couldn't turn around and go back.
No.
We had to continue, and
that's the only trouble about here in the mountains, hiking or hunting or anything like that. When you stop the truck and get out, you have to go uphill, and then when you go back to the truck, it's uphill. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
There you are. Okay, 404-872-0758 972-825. We'll at 25 after the hour, we'll have the Silent Hero Award, and this is a good one. This is really interesting. The Ronnie Thames Foundation Silent Hero Recognition, I think we call that now. It's not an award. It's recognition for EMTs and firefighters and the sacrifice and heroism that they display, and it's brought to you every week by Fire Aid. And I got to tell you, we had a chili cook-off here on the mountain in November, and I had to put out a fire at my cooker with my Fire Aid can.
I know. It's a good thing I had put it in the chili pot.
Yeah, that fire was not going out because it was a propane fire. So, but the Fire Aid put it right out. You get Fire Aid. You can order. I can't reach it now. You can order Fire Aid off the website and O'Neill Outside, and we'll send you a Fire Aid hat, a quality hat, Fire Aid hat. If you order, then we'll send you the hat. Okay. 404-872-0758 972-8255. I want to hear about your deer season and further about your nicknames, and you can also reach us at O'Neill Outside on the Facebook page. We'll be back. Welcome back. We've got a busy segment coming up here. This is O'Neill along with Woman Williams, Jason Byers, and Karen Green, also known as Houston. Hey, Jason. Jason's in the studio at WSB. Jason? Do you have a nickname? And you mind sharing that with us? Uh-huh.
Oh,
Slimer.
oh, did that bother you? Well, let me
That's
ask you,
great.
what happened when you were holding hands with your girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm
There
glad
you
I
go.
asked. I need to
Slimer.
know the origin of that. I'm glad I asked.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
you betcha. All right, let's just join in here and see if we can do the Silent Hero recognition part here. Have you got a intro for that? I don't know. I don't think we do we, Jason? Okay, good. Let's jump in here right now. You can watch it on who this person is on Facebook at O'Neill Outside. So let's start right here. This is a Silent Hero recognition account brought to you by Fire Aid 2000 Fire Suppressor Units, Orange County, California. A pilot who was involved in a plane crash in July spoke out about the incident and credited an off-duty fire captain for saving his life. Now, Frank, he was a 27-year-old fight veteran. He and his wife, they were flying over an expressway in America on the 4th of July weekend when the right engine went out. He called for Mayday, and he knew he was going down because the right engine was out. Now, the Avalon Fire Department Captain John Meffert, he was driving on the highway when he saw the plane coming down toward him. The wing of the plane hit Fire Captain Meffert's vehicle as it crashed into the highway, bursting into flames. Meffert pulled over and ran toward the plane to see if he could help. Plane's on fire. There's somebody alive. He ran even faster. Then he came to the tail section of the plane, reached in through the tail section of the plane and extricated the pilot and his wife. He dragged them away from the plane and began treatment for injuries. Weren't they fortunate that a silent hero was on the expressway that day? He saved my life and my wife's life because I know she would have stayed in the plane to help him. John Meffert is a hero. He went into a burning plane to save us. Yeah.
A real hero. Yes.
silent hero.
Yes, we have a picture of him.
Oh, yeah. He's really?
He's a nice-looking man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got a hero photo right now.
And where was this?
Orange County, California.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's see here.
Fantastic.
Let's talk to, been holding on for a little while. I've got time for this, I think. I'm out at, I've got plenty of time. So let's talk to Bambi calling from Locust Grove, Georgia. Good morning, Bambi.
Good morning.
Hey there.
That is my nickname.
Oh,
Sandy.
how did you get that?
Okay, do you remember Ludlow Porch?
I do.
Okay, I was a big fan of his, and by the way, Milton Crybible, I just love him to death.
Yes.
I want him to call me. I left my number there once before for him to call me.
Okay.
We were all real good friends.
Good.
That's how I got it. One of the big people that was officers or something in the Bambi Club, in Ludlow Sports Club.
Uh-huh.
He's the one that gave me the name because when I started listening to Ludlow Porch, I was known as Rex, Georgia.
I
And
see.
he decided he wanted to change my name, so he named me Bambi.
Ludlow was good at that. You remember what his real name was?
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. But right now, by the way, I'm 82 years old.
Okay, good.
And
I'm glad
I'm
you're
a
still here.
female. And yeah, and every morning on Saturdays, if I wake up, I come out to my car and turn my radio and listen to your show because I really love it. My husband was a big fisherman.
I see.
I lost him in 2009.
I see.
But I just love listening to your show, and I just wanted to tell you that you are so good.
Well, you're very, very kind, and I thank you for that. Bob, Ludlow Porch's name was Bob Hanson.
That's right. You're right.
And
Yeah.
he was a step-brother-in-law of
Right.
Louis
Yeah.
Grizzard.
Yeah. Yeah. I met all of them. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, I'll
like
bet.
I said, we used to have parties ever so often when we were there, and they roasted Ludlow Porch at one of them.
He was,
And
go ahead.
yeah, he was really a good person. That was one good man, I can tell you that.
You bet. You bet. You bet.
But and I miss him so much because I used to go to parties and everything. Of course, I couldn't go now,
Mhm.
but I just love listening to Milton Crybible. I hope he remembers me, and I'm sure he will because we were all very close back when I was going.
I see. I'm sure he will. And he's got a bad cold. That's why he's not calling right now, and he does a lot of appearances on the weekends. And so, yes, ma'am.
Have Bambi leave her number with Jason, and it's unusual that Milton did return your phone
Okay.
call, and
Leave
we'll
your
get
number
it to
with
him.
Jason Byers there, if you will, Bambi, okay?
Okay.
I'll put you back on hold. You can leave the number, and we'll get in touch with Milton in your behalf.
thank you so much. And again, like I said, I really do enjoy your show.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. There we go. Now let's see. It's 32 after the hour. Let's talk to Richard. Richard's calling from West Virginia. Good morning, Richard.
Morning. I mean, she's only 82 years old. She can still, I bet she could get out there on the dance floor and still get it.
I'll bet so. I'll bet so. Do you have a nickname, Richard?
I was wondering, say, like I was in the zoo. This is something that really interests me. Can't remember which one was, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Columbus, or I can't remember which one was, Cleveland. But I know I was going in there, and I was going around. You see all these exhibits, and one of them had this one place I was going. It had a camel, and installed one, and a donkey, and installed two. And there was like a steel guard around there, but it was only like a steel enclosure is what it was. But with the camel in the first place, those things are like 7 feet tall. This steel enclosure was only maybe about 4 feet high. And I was standing there looking at it. Just happened I was the only one there at the time. And I'm thinking, there's no sign that says no petting, stay away from it. It was right there. You could just walk right up to it, reach over there, and touch it. And I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking that at first you hear about them spitting on you, and I'm just wondering, and the same with the donkey. It was there too. It was right there where you could just walk right up and pet them like you could go into like the goats. You couldn't get in and pet goats. But I'm just thinking, is there such thing as a tame camel and a tame donkey? Because I was really surprised there was no signs there that said stay back 50 feet or something. Is there such thing as a tame camel and a tame donkey?
I would suspect, according to the upbringing, where they were born, how old they are, and their contact with humans, I would suspect that they could be domesticated to some level.
Oh, that's a word.
Interesting.
Domesticated.
I remember Gail and I were at a zoo. Remember the zoo, and they had that huge male giraffe? Were we in California or someplace?
No, we.
St. Louis.
No. It was somewhere around Washington.
Okay.
I think.
This thing was 17 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, no kidding. Richard, I'm glad you called, pal. Have a great weekend. I lost it. There you go. Okay. 34 after the hour. Let's talk to Andy. He's calling from Lake Oconee. Good morning, Andy.
Hey, good morning, O'Neill.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Listen, nicknames. When I grew up in a neighborhood in Des Moines, Iowa, it was called Snooseville. A bunch of Swedes and Norwegians.
Okay.
And they called me Swede.
Oh.
But as I grew up, things changed.
I'll bet.
But anyway, I was just wanting to tell you that all these nicknames, they trail you. In the Marine Corps, I was Skippy.
Skippy.
So you never know what you're going to be called as you get older.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're so descriptive, and they as you say, they stick with you. And I'll bet probably your Marine Corps buddies that recall you right now, they recall you that nickname versus Andy. What do you think?
Well, probably.
I'll bet so.
Who knows? Bunch of them are no longer with us.
Certainly.
But there's still around a few.
I'll bet. I'm glad you called, Andy.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, Skippy. Have a good weekend.
All right. Bye.
How about that? Okay.
I've got one to tell you.
Yes, ma'am. Quickly.
Dawn, we were just talking about her name is Princess Picklefish.
Princess Picklefish.
Yes, I'm sure there's a story there.
I would imagine there's an extensive story there.
Yeah,
Princess
that's great.
Picklefish. This is, I don't know how this, the nickname thing came up, but this is interesting, the nicknames that people have. All right, we've got to go to a break at 37, and then we'll be back. This is O'Neill. Welcome back, 40 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside, Saturday mornings, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. on WSB Radio and the SB, the Sports Broadcast Nation affiliates, and on Facebook at O'Neill Outside. So we intended to talk about deer season, but haven't talked much about that. Some turkeys, but nicknames has become a little theme of this morning's program. And we read a little story about nicknames. Nicknames from the gym, a guy named Frog. Nicknames from college, a guy named Stump. Nicknames from various people. What, Princess Picklefish? Yeah, it's interesting. And so now we ask Woman Williams, what is your nickname?
I don't have a nickname other than what you call me.
And that is?
Baby.
Baby, yeah.
Yeah. But no, Gail, it's not a nickname.
That was enough.
Oh, well, no, I guess Woman Williams, that's not really a nickname, I don't think. Is it? That's not a nickname, is it?
No, that's, it might be interesting. I've got time to do this. It might be interesting
I'm sure people are tired of hearing that story.
Oh, come on. We got a new audience every week. Nobody listens to this show very long. Originally, when I started the television show in 1982 or something like that, the cameraman, his name was Rembert Brown, and he just could not bring himself to call Gail Gail. It was Ms. Williams or something. I said, you got to stop doing that. So he called her.
Or he would say Miss Gail, and
Miss
I do
Gail.
not like that.
Yeah. Why is it you don't like Miss Gail?
Because I haven't missed anything.
Exactly. So he started calling her Woman Williams, and that was 30-some plus years ago. And it stuck. Woman Williams. And
no,
on
I
radio,
just don't
a
like.
lot of times people will see us at a show and introduce themselves, or at a Bass Pro or whatever, and they call you sometimes Lady Williams.
Yeah, somebody did this morning, and that's okay. Some people think it's not politically correct, but that's not it at all. It's a term of endearment, and it's one word.
Yeah,
Woman Williams.
It's not Woman Williams spelled one word.
No space.
No space. All right, let's talk to George. He's calling from Atlanta, and he's talking about nicknames also. George?
Yeah, when I was a young kid, I had the same name as my dad.
Uh-huh.
And so they called me by my initials, GB. And only my brother and his family call me that now.
It'll stick around, won't it?
Say again?
I say it will really stick around.
Yes, it will. And when my son was born, I was in the military, so we gave him the nickname of Super Troop. Well, Super has dropped off, but he's still called Troop.
Troop. How about that?
And when I went to the senior centers here in Atlanta, when they were having a veteran celebration, they found out I was a colonel, so that's what they have called me ever since.
Oh, how about that?
So those are the three nicknames that come to mind.
Well, that's good. Super Troop and GB. Yep. Good deal.
All righty.
George, glad you called, and appreciate you listening to the program.
Yes, sir. I've listened to it for probably 15 years now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's we're still at it. No kidding.
Yep.
How about that? Glad you called, pal. Call more often.
Sir.
I enjoy speaking with you.
Okay.
You betcha. There you go. Now let's talk to Austin, calling from Jefferson, Georgia. Good morning, Austin. This is O'Neill outside. Welcome.
Good morning, O'Neill. Good morning, Miss Williams. How are y'all this morning?
Lovely.
Great. Wanted to just add on to the nicknames. My dad worked for Delta for a bunch of years. Like he retired in '99 after 33 years.
Uh-huh.
And they called him Gomer.
Gomer?
After Gomer Pyle, yep. And he sounded just like Gomer Pyle. And most people knew him better as Gomer than they did as his name. So that's something that stuck with him pretty much his whole career.
How about that? I think men dish out nicknames more than women do.
I agree.
Gomer, huh?
Yeah, and my nickname was Tiger, and I'm 43. My dad's 30 years older than me. He still calls me Tiger.
Oh, how about that? Where did the Tiger come in? Would you tell if you know?
I don't know. I really don't know. He just, I guess him and Mom just started calling me that, and it just stuck, and it's definitely stuck.
No kidding.
Hard.
Well, good. Tiger it is.
Tiger it is, yes, sir.
You can call next time you call. Just tell the call screener. You can tell Jason this Tiger calling.
All right, I'll do that.
Mighty fine. There you go.
Well, have a great week.
You too. Have a great weekend. Yes, ma'am.
I happen to think of one high school friend.
Okay.
She's Jewish. So what do we call her?
The princess.
The princess. It's really funny when we're doing Facebook because it's not the princess with a capital T. It's a little t. The princess. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, everybody knows. I call her that on Facebook most of the time, in answering something, Princess so-and-so. And sometimes we have to explain why we do that. But she loves it.
Oh, sure she does. And you have known the princess for how long?
Since we were in the 2nd grade.
Since you were 7 years old. A long time.
Yes, a long time.
How about that?
I have a lot of friends that I have known that long that I'm still in constant contact with because I went to the same school all my life, basically.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
From the 1st grade?
I started 2nd grade at Southwest DeKalb.
Until graduation from high school in the same building. Almost.
Well, except for a couple of years when we went to Tony, but it was still the same bunch, same from Panthersville, Georgia.
How about that? Well, let's talk to, I neglect him most of the time. Let's talk to Black. Good morning, Black. This is O'Neill. What do you say?
Good morning, O'Neill and woman O'Neill.
Okay.
That's good.
I got a short story.
All right, go.
I'll be 79 in June.
Uh-huh.
I'm from Elbert County, left there in 64, went back in the military. Anyway, O'Neill, I won't take no time because I know you're busy. They started calling me Teenie, Teenie, because I was so teeny when I was born. I think I weighed maybe 5 pounds.
Uh-huh.
So.
Teenie.
Yeah, Teenie.
That's good.
Teenie Black.
Teenie Black.
And now they call me Sarge. And tell the Colonel, welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home, Sarge.
God bless you, O'Neill.
Well, you're very kind. O'Neill. I always look for your name on the screen here, my friend.
I'm still waiting now.
Yeah, I know it. Me too. I'll see you soon, pal. There you go. It's 58 after the hour. We've got time for this. Let's talk to Mike. He's calling from Swanee on O'Neill Outside. Good morning, Mike. Hey there.
My father said that my nickname was either a football player or an opera singer. He called me Nickaducci.
Good grief. Where did that name come from?
I don't know. Maybe he made it up. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, those sports nicknames will stick with you. When I was in high school, the coach called me because he couldn't remember my name, evidently. So with a name like O'Neill, he translated that over to the Notre Dame boy. Where's the Notre Dame boy? And matter of fact, he told me one time from someone else. He said, there's a guy in the school. His name is O'Neill, and his other nickname is Biuski, and I can't tell them apart. And it was both me. So
that did not make sense at all.
I know it. Well, that was
you
Coach,
said Biuski, and then you go Notre Dame boy and O'Neill. That makes no sense.
I had lots of nicknames. People couldn't remember O'Neill or something. I don't know. Maybe I confused everybody. There's 4 or 5 guys running around here, and they all look the same.
Telling stories like that would confuse you.
Hey, Mike, I'm glad you called, pal. Let's see, have I got Mike on the line? I do, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
There you go. Glad you called, Mike.
I'm glad to. We'll talk to you soon.
I hope so. Call more often. There you go. And it's 49 after the hour. Let's see if I got time for this. I believe I do. I'm out. I have to pay close attention to these times. Here's Cedric is calling from Stone Mountain. Good morning, Cedric.
Good morning, sir. Neil, how you doing? Good
Lovely.
To hear you. Yeah, it is. Calling from Snow Mountain, Georgia.
Great name, huh?
Yeah, Snow Mountain, Georgia. Yes, sir. Yeah, but hey, getting in on the nickname stuff, and they used to call me D.C. and boss back in Mississippi, growing up in northern Mississippi and Alcorn State.
So they called you D.C.?
Yes, DC. Still call me that today at 53 years old.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk more about these nicknames pretty soon in the next few weeks, and see how we can do. This has been interesting.
I hope to get some fishing in. I've been too busy and taking in kid fishing, so I'm gonna get unbusy and get to fishing this year.
Good deal. We'll encourage that too. Okay, it's about that time, so we'll listen for Jason to give us an intro for
honor, courage, and strength of character. These qualities are embodied by the recipients of the Medal of Honor. Now let's recognize this week's Medal of Honor recipient on O'Neill Outside.
Captain James Burt. Organization, U.S. Army, Germany, October 1944. Captain Burt was in command when his infantry ran into a murderous small arms and mortar fire. He calmly motioned his tanks into good firing positions. As the attack gained momentum, he climbed aboard his tank and directed the action from the rear deck and was wounded in the neck and the face. He left cover and went 75 yards through heavy fire to assist the infantry battalion commander who was seriously wounded. Listen to this now. For the next 8 days, through rainy, miserable weather, under constant heavy shelling, Captain Burt held the combined forces together, dominating and controlling the critical situation through the sheer force of his heroic example. To direct the artillery fire on that later in October, during those 8 days, he took his tank 300 yards into the enemy lines. Twice he was knocked out by the enemy action, his tanks were, and each time he climbed aboard another vehicle and continued the fight. He took great risks to rescue wounded comrades and inflicted heavy destruction on enemy personnel and material, even though suffering from the wounds he received in the battle's opening phase. Captain Burt's disregard for his own personal safety was so complete that his own men attached themselves to him and were inspired to overcome the wretched conditions which accompanied one of the most bitter actions of the war. Medal of Honor recipient Captain James Burke, October 1944, Germany.
Wow. He was a tank commander.
Tank commander. 5 times his tank was shot out from under him. He climbed aboard another and continued the battle.
Kept it going.
Yeah,
I can't imagine being in one of those.
Oh, man. Okay, I need to get out of here for a second. This is O'Neill Outside. We'll be back with the closing segment. Before we conclude the program this morning, someone has written a question to us via the Facebook at o'neilloutside.com. So, Woman Williams, what's that question?
Yes, Robert from Auburn, Georgia, wants to know why the Alabama's deer season ends a month later than the deer season here.
The deer seasons in the various states are set by the rutting period, because if it weren't for the rut, you never would kill one anyway. So the season is set according to the deer activity. The deer in Alabama the population was restocked many years ago from a population that came from in the lower southwest corner of the state. Over the last 10,000 years, those deer rutted late. They did not begin the rutting period because the fawns were born late in the year, the next spring, after the Tennessee River flood stages were over. So that rutting phase, beginning late and birthing late, kept those deer alive. Otherwise, the fawns drowned during the spring floods. That is the source of that deer is the source of the deer in Alabama. So a late rut, a late birthing period, a late fawning period, and so that's why in Georgia and the Carolinas, you see those states were restocked by white-tailed deer from Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and several other places. So they rut in generally November and December. Alabama, they don't rut until actually January. So the deer season in Alabama begins late. So we enjoyed the program this morning. Nicknames, deer season. Appreciate the contact, and we enjoy the show very, very much, and I hope you do too. It's on WSB, the SB Nation nationwide, and, of course, on Facebook at O'Neill Outside. And if I can leave anything with you, it's always the same message. If you're too busy to go fishing and hunting, take a child along and teach them about the outdoors, then you absolutely are too busy. So, we'll fade away right now. We'll go to the SHOT Show this week, and we'll see you guys next week. This is O'Neill with Woman Williams, Jason Byers, and Karen Green, and we'll be back next week.